My favorite duo.
Wait, who are you?
Yeah, dynamic duo. That's what my mom calls us.
Yeah.
Dynamic duo.
Hi, how's it going? How's the day? It's crazy. It's mind-blowing.
Crazy, yeah. The parties itself are insane.
It's
Last
been
night, the Magician's Party was
a whirlwind, a fun whirlwind,
Yeah. Doesn't stop.
Everybody seems to have a bit of magic, special abilities.
Yeah.
Are there any traits with your characters that you associate with yourselves, or that they have that you wish you had?
Margot has a lot of characteristics that I wish I possessed. She's so strong. She's not afraid to speak her mind. She's the person in the room that says what everyone, wants to say and is too afraid to say. And I wish I was more like that. And she satisfies her needs and her desires immediately. She doesn't second guess herself or apologize for herself, and that's strong.
I think Elliot is really outspoken. I think that he's kind of created a new insiderness, a new cool with his own feeling of being an outsider, and I admire that, and I think that that's something that is beautiful in terms of a personal evolution. I wish that I gave less fucks the way that he does. I mean, he truly will say and do whatever he feels. But I would definitely say there's a difference in terms of how I operate through my life versus how Elliot operates through his, and that has to do with a sense of Elliot kind of safeguarding his emotions and me being perhaps a bit more of a transparent person in my everyday life. So I admire him, and there's also parts that I would not trade of myself as well.
We left last season with you getting married to a because you're a prince, and then also
a king, actually.
A king.
Sorry.
Hi, King.
Yeah.
And then we also left you in the dire against the beast.
Yeah.
What can we expect for this coming season? Since now you're married and now you guys are dealing with this issue that the beast has been.
We can't really say.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, we don't really. We know up to a certain point. We're sworn under secrecy to kind of keep it under wraps, unfortunately. But people are like, well, are you alive or are you dead? And so I guess I kind of throw that question back to you guys. What do you think?
Well, if you're alive, are you still married?
Maybe.
Is she gonna show up?
Perhaps, maybe. So.
You never know.
Yeah.
It's tough not being able to talk about, what happened.
Yeah.
That's a new experience for me.
Those are really cool bullet cuffs.
Yeah. Those are awesome. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Do you find that you're going to be able to get past your addiction now that you're going to be the king, and are you going to accept that after you're surrounded?
I think it's one of those things that I can't wait to explore with Hale, because, season 1 we talked a lot about, we just want a scene where we can really sink our teeth into and sort of flesh out our relationship. And so that's something that I'm really looking forward to doing this season, having more room and space to explore Margot and hopefully see her come into her own in the absence of Elliot. Hopefully that's something to hope for, that I would enjoy doing.
And I would say that kind of where we left off with Elliot in season 1, having been in such a dark place and kind of ready to give up on everything, including his own life, perhaps, I would say that there's a renewed sense of purpose and an intention and a kind of dignity about just a greater purpose in life, and that's something that isn't easy for him, but something that is anchoring. That has kind of arrived to anchor his life in a way that I don't think anyone saw coming. I don't think he saw coming.
I don't know if anyone, but you guys have the best chemistry on camera. On screen, you guys have a great camera, on-screen camera relationship where you bounce off each other. will we see more of that next season? Because it's nice. I know there's a lot
I
of
hope so,
issues,
yeah.
but we're
Yeah.
gonna see more like your banter instead of the hate that you guys had a little bit during
hate.
the.
Right when
Oh,
we
yeah.
were,
Because that
Oh,
guy-
that's
our
right.
relationship
Oh,
was deteriorating.
That
Well,
good for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think by the end of season 1, you saw them sort of repair their relationship in a more adult and honest way. So it wasn't like we,
Left off on the worst foot.
yeah, I mean, we talked a lot about how, even though it wasn't seen in the final episode, we talked a lot about how we were feeling about each other while we were shooting that. And
We always
these
talk a
characters-
lot in
Yeah.
depth about how to approach each scene together and where these two people came from in order to meet and establish the
Yeah.
kind of relationship that they do have, and all the ways that is very specific, and all the ways that sort of lives in a gray area, and the importance of all of that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
It was a real discipline that we developed because, in a way, when you have less time to demonstrate your character or relationship the two people may have, you have to do so much more backstory and work inside your head and with each other. So, all I can say was that was a new discipline for me.
I think we both learned a lot last season, and I think
Yeah.
that it's allowed us to. We kind of it was a kind of trial to be first time series regular on a show that is so epic and so expansive and covers so many different worlds.
Yeah.
And this season to kind of know that we have kind of prepared the blueprint and the structure of something that we can now build on and grow in and evolve with.
Yeah.
Perhaps. I don't even know.
We don't even know.
We don't know that far ahead.
Yeah, they don't give us the scripts that far
Right now we've
ahead.
read through episode
Six?
5.
Five.
So you're alive.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't know about that.
Maybe in some form we come back. Who's to say?
Not saying that.
See, in Alliance, who Elliot might or may not be friends with or trust or sure.
I'm interested to see.
Yeah, sure. That'd be
I'm interested to see how Margot accepts his marriage and if she does.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. A kind of evolution between Elliot and Quentin as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do. I wonder. I wonder what a scene with Penny and Elliot would be like, or Elliot and Julia even. And what, how do they relate to each other?
Yeah.
And I think that in the few very tiny moments that I have had with those characters on screen, we've tried to kind of discuss what that might be, even with Arjun and Stella. You had some fun stuff with Stella last year, right?
No, we
just
had
for
a
5
line, and
seconds.
it's frustrating because we're so close in our lives, and it's like we just want to do a scene together and see what that's like. So I'm hoping for that.
Hopefully a lot.
I think that'll be interesting.
I think there's a lot in store that no one
Yeah.
has seen yet, and there's a lot of different variations that are possible that we might not even know yet. So
Yeah.
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 Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
so much, guys.